Hello, my friends. Let's talk about some things that are concerning and that are things that sometimes we just kind of forget about. We normalize and we forget about, but they are concerning and we really should not just let them slip by. We should give them more attention. And before I get into this, I just want to thank everyone for your ongoing support for this channel and support for me as well, as I've been going through some health issues. I really want to thank everyone for your messages. I also want to thank everyone for using the hyperlinks for supporting the channel in that way in the description box. That is much appreciated. And, without any further ado, just want to jump right into this. Things of concern that we should definitely have more awareness of and basically give a little more energy to mitigate some of the impact that these things have on us. And so the first thing is going to be cell phone use. The radiation from our cell phones is not healthy. And a lot of us keep our cell phones with us or very close by all through the day and night. And over time, the radiation from our cell phones starts to wear on our body. And lots of different health problems can come from exposure from radiation from our cell phone and even from Wi-Fi. And that's why they say to turn off the Wi-Fi at night so that your body, when it's sleeping and trying to rebuild itself, trying to get restorative rest, it can do that more efficiently. So you want to keep your cell phone away from your bed or your sleeping area, turn off your Wi-Fi, and you're going to have a lot better results in staying healthy. In terms of, when you're talking on the phone, try to use a hands-free option or just the speakerphone at least. Don't put the phone right up against your face, right next to your ear and your mouth and your nose and your eye, right up on your skin. It's just not a healthy thing to have that radiation be absorbed and influencing the cellular structures in your face and your other features. So just be mindful that it's carcinogenic. This radiation coming out of the phone is not beneficial. It doesn't make you look younger. Now, in terms of other different topics, there's so many to pick from, so I'm just going to limit this video to just a few. But I'm basically echoing a lot of various emails that I've been getting recently that, request for videos. So I thought maybe this would be a great time to just kind of add a few of your all's, comments and thoughts and concerns. So the next thing is this topic has mostly come from you guys, and that is the fact that food and water, in terms of finding pure sources of nutrition in water, it's becoming more difficult. Some of you guys say, well, it just depends on where you live, and that's somewhat true. But more than ever, you have a very mixed bag of quality when it comes to just finding potable water. And trying to find nutrition that isn't extremely expensive, but also not loaded with toxins. And so there's a lot of people that have told me over my lifetime, why do you buy bottled water? Or why would you buy a filter to filter water? Why don't you just drink the tap water? The tap water isn't that bad. But in some areas, it really is that bad. Now, I do not buy bottled water, but I also do not drink straight from the tap. I filter all my water. You do whatever you think is the best for you. But be mindful, though, that what's in your water and what's in your food, it becomes a part of you, once you digest it and once your body brings it into itself, once it starts to metabolize it. So what we eat becomes us. Literally. And so it's very important to be mindful of what we put in our body. And the same thing about what we spend time doing as well. It's very important. The things that we pay attention to, the things that we look with our eyes, the things that we speak, all of these things matter. It's not just food and water that becomes us. It's the things that we think about. Things that, once again, that we expose ourselves to influences us in great ways. So I agree with you guys that there isn't a mindfulness that the things that we think and do and say and consume there isn't a mindfulness about that, of how it affects us long term, or even in the short term. The next concern that a lot of people bring up is this use of technology that we have, and how it's actually causing so many problems when it comes to attention span. And I agree with this completely. The more technology that you use in ways that are considered multitasking, the more that you just destroy your ability to focus on task. And so more than ever, I see people with such short attention spans that they have difficulty doing simple things. And so the best way to try to restore your attention span is just do one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And try not to rush yourself. Try to enjoy the things that you do. Find the joy in everything that you can. Our life is so short. To just sit around and worry about what ifs and this and that and pressure ourselves to create even more stress than we already have, it's like the definition of insanity. We all have plenty of stress. Life is difficult enough. We don't need to be told that. Now, maybe you could be a very young person and you haven't really experienced a lot of pain and suffering. Maybe you haven't lost a loved one. Maybe you haven't gone through what life will dish out eventually if you live long enough. But you will obviously eventually, and I'm sorry to tell you, but you will experience difficult times. That's just part of being human. But the concern is that there are so many people that don't want to even accept that reality, and they don't want to grieve. And I've seen this when I was a mental health professional. People resist grief, and they wonder why they have grief symptoms going on for years and years, because you have to grieve. It's a human process of loss. And if you don't have grief and loss process, then you don't have the ability to work through that particular issue, that void in your life. And so you have to be open to the mechanics of who we are as humans. And so it's very difficult for people to put themselves through that, because they feel very vulnerable and out of control. And they want to just take some type of psychotropic medicine, some antidepressant or anti-anxiety medicine to kind of mask their symptoms. But it's been shown over and over that it really reduces your ability to grieve. So allow the process to unfold. You'll be better off for it, and you'll be better quicker than trying to prolong the grief by masking symptoms. And just lastly here, I want to touch bases on the generation that is in grade school and high school, and maybe even in college right now, the younger generations. I want to say that it's not just my opinion, but there's a lot of people that have kind of acknowledged and kind of just become more aware of these younger generations and how they view the world, how they view themselves and others as well. But there's a lot of young people that are extremely sensitive. And I think a lot of this is because they have been really over babied in their life. Everybody has done things for them that probably they shouldn't have done, and these people have not had the opportunity to learn for themselves or to grow. And a lot of these people as well, and I've seen it firsthand for many years now, that these young generations are rewarded even when they fail. And I'm not saying that you should be punished as a child if you fail at something. Absolutely not. But you should not be rewarded, because once you go into the working world, or the workforce, I should say, and you do not, result in a productive outcome, you're not efficient, you're not getting results, you're not going to probably be able to keep that job very long. And so many people are getting trophies for being in last place. And I don't think that's beneficial, because that's going to be in contrast to how the world works when they become an adult. They're going to be shocked that, what? I didn't get my trophy, or I didn't get a raise, even though I'm the last person in line here in terms of productivity. How does that work? And so this way that we're raising kids, and not all of us are raising kids like this, but there's a lot of people who are, they're confusing their kids, and they're going to cause a lot of stress, because these people are going to have to learn how things really are. And so, in my opinion, and I've been through high school and college myself, so I can say this, that even in my generation, there were people starting to really just live in their own fantasy world. And for the most part, high school and college is that. It's a false way of living. It's not real. It's a fake facade. And there's tons and tons of safety nets within those systems. And, you don't really learn how to be on your own until you're on your own. It's just that simple. When you get your first real job out of college or high school, and you're actually living in your own place, and you have your own car or your own mode of transportation, that's when you learn about the world. It's not when you're still at your mom and dad's house, or, you live in the dorm, and, everything is kind of, safe, and you have extra protections. People are watching out for you all the time. And that's kind of, a fake world. And I'm not saying it's wrong to actually have part in some of those experiences. But just know that it's not the same as, how it's going to be when you're out of school, or when you're out of mom and dad's house, or when you have a real job and things are expected of you. So hopefully these are some things that, you guys, wanted or needed to hear, and that I've echoed what your concerns were to a large degree. There's a few things that I've left out, but maybe we can talk about that later in the future if you want to talk about this topic again. But let me know what you think about these things in the comment section. What is your, largest concerns right now with society? Is it our future generations? Is it our economy? Is it politics? Is it the threat of war? Or is it the threat of famine or disease states? Is it our healthcare system? I mean, there's so many things. There are so many problems. But I was trying to be kind of more specific here in this video, and about specific things that we can look at and become aware of. But certainly we have to take care of ourselves, take care of each other the best as possible. We just never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we need to be in the best condition now, because tomorrow could be just a completely different story. And we have to find our way, and have to be adaptable on our path. So I wish everyone the very best in your journey in life. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.